The second thing that we talk about is conservation.
Hmm.
So you're right. If we haven't talked about the district, this district's massive. It goes through 12 counties, and it goes on the Lake Ontario shoreline all the way down into the Finger Lakes. So the district has a lot of water. So that's the one thing that kind of ties this district together. And I like to say water is life.
Yeah.
So soil and water conservation is very important, whether you're a farmer, you're you own a winery, an apple orchard, or if you're raising your kids, it's the same thing. My opponent wants to do fracking in this area. So if you're any of those people, that's bad, whether you're trying to grow your crops, run a business, or just raise your kids, because near fracking sites, there are higher cases of juvenile cancer, dementia, and several other different type of medical issues. So that's a stark difference there.
Are you seeing that, by the way? I mean, I know a lot about that issue, partially because I grew up there, and, it's the Marcellus Shale. I went to Marcellus High School. It's where it all begins.
Yeah.
I feel like most people understand the concerns, the dangers about fracking and what it does to potentially, certainly, to groundwater. The only people who benefit from it are those who sell their property. And often in the end, they lose too. They lose control of their property and the value of their property. Who's for fracking still? It's bizarre to me.
It would be people who would be in the pockets of big oil. That's what it's down to. And where I grew up in Oklahoma, I saw the detriments of that.
Sure.
One thing that we don't often think of the state of Oklahoma is earthquakes. So back there, you actually have to buy earthquake insurance. So the property value goes down because now you're dealing with contaminated water and soil. And you're also dealing with higher property insurance rates.
Yeah, just to be clear, in case anybody doesn't, I'll never forget when I read this long form investigative story in the New Yorker. It's still very relevant that there's a tremendous amount of data and evidence that the earthquakes in Oklahoma are being caused by fracking, and that there weren't earthquakes in Oklahoma before that, not at this kind of level and impact. That's my understanding.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And you have places where there have been runoff, where you have higher cases of cancer throughout the state. So that's kind of what we're talking about there.